The Minister of National Security charting the way forward. Human remains discovered on the island of Abaco. And a new batch of Technical Cadet Corps inducted.
The Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, all. I'm Shashila Wolf-Arkeson. As always, it is so great to have you with us. Topping news this evening, the Minister of National Security meeting with officers on the front line in the fight against crime. The meeting held at the Police Training College, providing an opportunity to address the concerns of officers as he outlined the way forward for the organization. Megan Shepard has our top story.
The Minister of National Security, the Honorable Marvin Dames, says that the meeting with officers is all in line with staying in touch with the officers on the ground within the Royal Bahamas Police Force, Defense Force, and the Bahamas Department of Corrections. He says he wants to keep the rank and file of these agencies abreast of the work that's taking place and inform them of new initiatives.
We're living in an era where many persons are using social media, and they are oftentimes with their own agenda, talking about the agencies, what's being done, what's not being done, and sending conflicting messages. And so one of the things that I wanted resonated this morning was how the officers know that this is a part of our half-yearly meeting.
Corporals, constables, and sergeants from Bimini and Abaco were also involved in the meeting via telecast. Officers were given the opportunity to voice their questions and concerns, and the minister admits that most of those concerns are currently being addressed by the ministry.
We talked about promotion and the fairness of promotion and recruitment and professionalism and the way we interact with members of the public, and we talked about training and fairness in training. All of these issues the officers are concerned with. And so it's a work in progress, but we're working on creating systems and standards to which we can measure ourselves and our successes.
While noting the government's commitment to staying on top of world trends and technology, the minister adds that Cabinet has just recently approved a new gun detection technology.
What it does essentially is technology. If someone fires a shot in a community, for example, it can triangulate where that individual fired that shot, and it will send a message almost instantaneously to those patrol vehicles within that parameter, and they should be able to respond almost immediately with a high chance of interdicting that person.
He shares information regarding another tech initiative to come on stream.
What is also exciting for us is this multi-agency drone project that we intend to launch very shortly. We have completed our cabinet paper, and so that should be going to cabinet within another 2 weeks. So that we can send the RFP out. And so we're looking at a multi-agency approach with this: the police, the defense, the corrections department, customs and immigration, and we're looking at short, medium, and long-term, long-range drones.
Megan Shepard, ZNS Network News.
Now, officers we spoke to say the meeting was quite productive.
The points that he brought forward, firstly touching with the welfare of officers, making sure that we were fine, facilities are in order, and all the things that we need to combat crime here on the island of Grand Bahama, coupled with additions of the technological advances that we need to fight crime and moving on with world changes. I feel that it was very productive this morning.
I pretty much didn't have concerns. I think that the persons that spoke for the entire body of the police force, particularly here in Grand Bahama, and definitely the responses from the minister reigned true. And in my mind, I feel that he's interested and he has a desire to actually to bring forth and to answer those concerns. And so I'm pretty much holding a watchful eye.
Now, this officer attached to the Security Intelligence Branch say that the meeting was very informative as the minister spoke to a number of concerns.
I know a lot of persons were seeing issues pertaining particularly to videos and voice notes going around with new amendments. And so these are some of the issues he wanted to address with officers, and talking about training and helping to professionalize the organization and to help upgrade and not only benefit us but benefit the Bahamas at large.
In other news, a body found buried in the sand on a beach in Crossing Rocks, Abaco yesterday. The discovery was made around 6 p.m. and taken to the Marsh Harbor Clinic. An autopsy will be performed to determine the exact cause of death. A team of officers from New Providence traveled to Abaco to investigate that discovery. Now, police have not yet confirmed if that is the missing body of Marvin Sawyer, who has been reported missing by his mother some 3 weeks ago. And tonight, the family of a man who has been missing now for over a decade is looking for a breakthrough. Family members say ever since the day he disappeared, it has pained and anguished them, and they are hoping that someone would come forward with some information that can bring closure. "13 years ago, Lakiva Nesbitt says her brother left home informing his mother that he was going fishing. He has never been seen or heard from since. She says they would later find out that while 5 men were on board that boat, 2 went missing. One of them included her brother, 38-year-old Mark Forbes.
Every anniversary, every birthday, every summer, these are memorable stuff that he was a part of, especially when it came to mommy. And it's left a void for her. And it's painful for any mother that does not know where their child is at.
She says this September would make 13 years, and the pain of not having him is still present. She adds that he was a son, a brother, and a father of 7.
His kids, they all loved him. He all loved them. He was a part of their lives. All of them have his traits. Walk, smile, sleep, all of them. And graduation for them, no daddy. Birthday, no daddy. Christmas, no daddy. It's just a void, not knowing what happened, what went wrong. Whatever the remains are, we just want to know where he's at to bring some closure, if not for me, but for mommy.
Mother Judy Mae Nesbitt says the pain of not knowing what happened to her child is unbearable.
Just missing him, I get emotional by talking every time I think about him, because I really would like to know. Because when we ourselves was taking upon ourselves to go and do the investigation, they tell us we are hampering with the investigation, so we didn't even bother with it. And so it left now that, to me, it looks like it just went cold. But I believe within my heart, and I know there's somebody out there that knows what's going on.
She says she doesn't believe that there was a mishap that led to her son's disappearance, and she is appealing for anyone who knows anything to please say something.
There's nothing that we can do or change whatever happened, but God knows. God knows who all involved. And I pray to God that this conversation that we're having now concerning Mark Forbes and the guys, whoever involved, turn to Christ.
Now, if you have any information on this case, you are urged to contact the police or family members. Say you can reach them at 801-8965. In other news, another local member of parliament is throwing support behind the government's decision to purchase the Grand Lucayan Resort property. While applauding the move by the government, he is also offering some suggestions. Sabrina Brown has this report.
Member of Parliament for Central Grand Bahama, Iram Lewis, says the government's decision to purchase the Grand Lucayan Resort is a ray of hope for the people of this island.
The subject matter that we are addressing today is more than saving a resort, but it is about providing an opportunity to reposition Grand Bahama. It is more than just saving 400 jobs, but creating 1,200 direct jobs and hundreds of indirect jobs. It's more than saving what is there, but building what should be there.
He says the government is required to make tough decisions that may not be popular.
This non-private sector entity will invest in the greatest asset of this country, its people. And as the government of the Bahamas, we must work deliberately and diligently, despite backlash and criticism, to bring as much relief to the Grand Bahamian people as possible.
He adds that the government must move expeditiously but cautiously to find a suitable buyer for the Grand Lucayan property.
In choosing a buyer, we must ensure that the buyer's intentions are very clearly documented as it pertains exactly to the development and management of the property. The new owner must have a clear documented plan, inclusive of key performance indicators, to allow for effective evaluation of the buyer's productivity and execution. While government should not assume an intrusive approach after the sale of the property, it is incumbent on the government, on the owners, to provide relevant information to the government so as to ensure that the property is on track to achieve desired goals.
Lewis made this recommendation.
A contingency plan must be discussed up front so that in the event of a setback, such as we experienced with Hurricane Francis, Jean, and also Hurricane Matthew, the government of the Bahamas is reassured that the owner will do the right thing and reinvest in the property or follow an agreed path of resolution.
Sabrina Brown, ZNS Network News.
You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Stay with us. There's more news right after this break.